Alright, so there's a special kind of position function, and this you would have definitely seen in algebra and algebra 2 before, but this is position of falling objects. And we're using the idea of gravity here, and gravity it falls at 32 feet per second. And so that gets plugged in right here, but it's half of it. And so the reason why it's half is because it's squared. And so when we go ahead and we take the derivative, it ends up being minus 32t when we're talking v of t plus v of 0, that initial velocity that we had. So that would be the velocity at any time that we would end up getting. But this is that specific equation that we are going to be using for all of these things. So make sure you take this into account here. Alright, so if a tape measure is dropped by a construction worker from the top of a 100-foot tall building, so the 100 feet, this is my S of 0, which is right there as my constant. It is the height at time t is given by this position. So hopefully you are able to see here that there's no velocity, there's no initial velocity. So no initial velocity. This means that v of 0 is equal to 0, so there's no t there. So we want to find the average velocity on these two intervals right here. So we're going to look between 1 and 1.5. So what I'm going to do is s of 1.5 minus s of 1, and that's all over 1.5 minus 1. Well, I'm just going to plug these into my calculator at this point. So my s of 1.5 is 64. And my s of 1 is 84. And then 1.5 minus 1 is just 0.5. So 64 minus 84 is a negative 20. So this ends up being negative 40 feet per second at this one right here. So that's for this interval, that 1 to 1.5. So now I'm going to do it for 1.5 to 2. So this is s of 2 minus s of 1.5 all over 2 minus 1.5. So very similar here. My s of 2 is 36. And then I already know s of 1.5 is 64. And so then when I go ahead and I figure that out, I get a negative 56 feet per second. Which, if you think about it, that should make sense. You know, as the time goes further, gravity has more time to act on the object, so it starts to fall faster and faster. So really why these answers are different is gravity is pulling the object down faster. Well, it always pulls it down at the same rate, but it pulls it down, pulls the object down, causing it to go faster. So when will the tape measure hit the ground? So it fell 100 feet off and it's got to hit the ground eventually. So when it hits the ground, I know that my position has to be 0 feet off the ground. So I'm just going to plug in 0 for s of t. So I get s of t, or 0, is equal to negative 16t squared plus 100. Well, this is just algebra here, so subtract 100 from both sides. Negative 100 equals negative 16t squared. Divide by a negative 16. And so then you get 6.25 is equal to t squared. Well, we got to go ahead and do the square root now. And so I get t is equal to plus or minus 2.5. Well, hopefully you're thinking at this point, well, I probably can't have a negative because it doesn't make sense for it to go and float back up further than the building was, or to, for time to go negative. So that really wouldn't work out. So I've got to have t is equal to 2.5 seconds. Can't go back in time. Got to make sure that you have both of this. You have to have this step, and then you have to go to this step. That's an important piece. You have to show all of the potentials and then exclude it because you cannot have negative time. So that would be an important piece to make sure that you have written down on your AP test and really any test in this class. Get in that habit. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to find the velocities, and they're giving us some different ones. So velocity to impact, real quick, I just want to make sure that we write this down. It's at 2.5 seconds, and at 2.5 seconds, that's when it actually hit the ground. So to go ahead and find these, I'm going to just go ahead and find my v of t, which is equal to s prime of t. So all I'm going to do is take the derivative of this function here. So then I get negative 32t, and that's just plus 0. So it's just negative 32t here. So to find v of 1, I'm plugging in 1 for t, which gives me negative 32. To find v of 2, I'm plugging in 2 for t, and that gives me negative 64. And then I got to do v of 2.5. So this is at the moment it was about to hit. This ends up being negative 80. And at this point, I hope you all are thinking the same thing that I am. I'm forgetting units on each one of these, and it's feet per second. And a good way to think about this, especially to make sure you're doing it right, is you should always get negative numbers for this problem because we're dropping it and it's going down closer to the earth. There's no way it's going back up. I mean, maybe if there was a trampoline to bounce it back, but you always want to be checking and thinking about what does your answer actually mean. So make sure you are having units and doing that. Last piece that I have to do is velocity after it has fallen 25 feet. So if it's fallen 25 feet, that means that I'm at 75 feet. So if I'm at 75, I need to go ahead and I need to solve for this here. So negative 25 is equal to negative 16t squared divided by a negative 16. And I'm left with 25 over 16, and I'm going to leave it like this, because when I take the square root, I'm going to get plus or minus 5 over 4 is equal to t. And so I know it can't be the negative. So all I have to do here is just do v of 5 over 4, 1.25. And if I do that, it's negative 32 times this 1.25. So v of 5 over 4 is going to be equal to 40. And make sure you have the negative and the feet per second. And this makes sense because 1.25 is between 1 and 2. So that negative 40 occurs somewhere in that realm, between that negative 32 and negative 60.